Hello, everybody. I'm here with Ken Muskat, the president of Scenic Group USA, to chat a little bit about what's happening within Scenic Group. Ken, thank you so much for jumping on and talking to me for a few minutes.
Of course. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invite and looking forward to giving all your great listeners some wonderful, exciting updates about our brands.
So, Scenic Group is entering a bold phase of growth with new Emerald Cruises super yachts and river ships launching through 2027. I was hoping you'd tell me a little bit about what this next chapter represents for the brand as a whole, and then what part in that growth are travel advisors going to play.
This is a real exciting time for us. Our river ships have been operating since 2008 between both brands, but our ocean ships really just started in 2019. So that part of the business is really new. But the exciting part is the demand has just been through the roof, and we've really been able to position river and ocean on both Scenic and Emerald in a really great way for our advisors and for the clients of our advisors. So what we've just recently announced is a pretty major expansion on the Emerald Cruises brand. We've got 5 new ships coming out between 26 and 27 for Emerald Cruises. 2 of them are river ships. One is Emerald Astra that comes out in April of 2026. That's going to do the Rhine, Main, and Danube. And then the other one that's coming out in 2027 is Emerald Lumi, which is going to be the first time that the Emerald brand is offering a river cruise on the Seine. So we're very excited about that. And then also we have 3 new super yachts coming out in 2026 and 27. One is the Emerald Kaya, which is basically sister ship of Emerald Azura and Sakara that are already sailing, but this one's slightly larger, longer, wider, with a few more amenities that we'll talk about. Emerald Kaya comes out in April of 2026. And then we just announced 2 more that are going to come out in 2027, Emerald Raya and Emerald Zara. So the demand for these yachts, given their size and uniqueness, because they really are in a class of their own, there's really nothing else like them, with only 100 or 128 guests on them on the new ones. Amazing for groups, amazing for charters. Warm weather environment in the Caribbean, the Mediterranean, and the Seychelles. So it's really, really unique. And we've seen tremendous demand for Azura and Sakara, which is why now we're going to add 3 more. So that'll bring the ocean fleet for Emerald to 5, which is really, really exciting for us.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious what is happening in that segment, in the luxury yacht segment. It seems to be exploding within Emerald, within Scenic Group, and also elsewhere in the industry. What is driving the demand into this kind of travel, and how is Emerald sort of redefining this type of travel?
I think what's driving the demand is I think there's just a lot of awareness now that there used to not be. I mean, well, there's a couple of things. Number one, there's a lot more ships and a lot more brands that are focusing on sort of the smaller bucket list, unique kind of itineraries and product offering. And we're taking a leadership position in that. And because of that, the overall awareness to the vacation segment or anybody that's looking for a luxury premium vacation experience is realizing that the cruise industry has now expanded to not only be big giant ships with 4, 5, 6,000 people, but a lot of different offerings between small, medium, and large. If you look at the latest reports from CLIA, a third of the ships that are out there now are actually 1,000 berths or less. So they're in that medium to small kind of segment, and it's really been exploding over the last few years. So like I was mentioning, the Emerald yachts, for example, and even the Scenic Eclipse 1 and 2 on the Scenic brand, because of their size and their ultra luxury experience and the different destinations that they go to and the appeal of going to places that are either real hardcore expedition like Antarctica, or places that are real small Caribbean islands or warm weather destinations that larger ships can't get into, is very, very appealing. It's driving a younger demographic. It's driving people that have more time and discretionary income to look at these alternatives. And the other real exciting thing about it, and I always urge travel advisors to think about this, it's very appealing to people who say today, oh, I would never go on a cruise. I'm not a cruise person, because they're typically thinking of the big ships with a lot of people. And when they see what we have to offer and the customization and the one-to-one guest to crew ratio and the destinations that we go to, the immediate feedback is, whoa, this is different than a cruise. I mean, this is totally like having my own personal yacht, which is what the Emerald yachts really offer, which make them very unique. The fact that they're brand new, super modern, All of our ships have the Starlink technology for the Wi-Fi, high ceilings, big open spaces, extra large suites, culinary options, spa options, workout options. It really brings this smaller ship to a whole nother level that a lot of people just weren't aware of. And we're seeing a lot of demand there now.
Yeah, I know that was a mission in the industry is to get these first timers into the system somehow. These products or these yachts seem sort of like the perfect way to do that, to introduce people to vacations on the ocean or on the seas. And so it's nice to hear you see that and sort of realize it from your point of view as well. I'm curious. I mean, the Scenic Group's the portfolio is growing pretty significantly. You spoke about the growth, the additions. The depth of what's in the portfolio now is really wide. What should travel advisors listen for when trying to match a client into one of these ships on board one of these ships into one of these cabins across sort of what Scenic Group is offering?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Scenic Group, which is comprised of Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and Emerald Cruises, we're now very unique because we've got river, we've got ocean, we've got expedition. We also have land that we haven't even really focused on a lot. You can book land products with us without even the cruise aspect to it. So the fact that we've got this large portfolio is great. And the fact that we're growing on all sides between both brands on river and ocean is really, really exciting. I think what travel advisors need to listen to is, number one, people that are looking for unique experiences, bucket list experiences, off the beaten path kind of experiences. People that say, I want more personalization and customization. I don't want to be with crowds. I don't want any hassle. I want high service, high touch. People that are saying, I want this once in a lifetime experience, such as Antarctica, as I mentioned, or, the Scenic Eclipse ships are very unique because we position them in three different categories. You've got expedition, you've got discovery, which is kind of a mix, like Iceland, for example, where you've got some expedition, but some real just luxury cruising experience. And then we've got specialty cruises when you've got Scenic Eclipse in the Med or the Caribbean or elsewhere, where it's just a beautiful cruise on an ultra luxury ship. So when you're talking to the clientele, you got to ask them and find out what are they looking for from a different kind of experience that's beyond a typical cruise experience. And that's really where we come in. The Emerald brand is 45 plus, a little bit more active, slightly younger demographic, typically 7-night cruise, more traditional, whereas Scenic is a little bit higher, and it's obviously higher end. It's all inclusive. It appeals to a more luxury, slightly older demographic clientele. The cruises tend to be 7 to 10 nights or 14 nights, a little bit longer, more cultural immersion. So those kinds of things are important when you're talking to your clients. Are you looking for culture? Are you looking for adventure? Are you looking for expedition? Bucket list? Who are you traveling with? And also, I can't say it enough, those clients that many travel advisors are working with today who are booking an African safari, or they're booking a glamping trip in Montana, or a really high-end ski trip. Those are people who are saying, I would not do a cruise. But in reality, when they see what we have to offer, if they're going to do a African safari, chances are they would love to do Antarctica the following year, because it's the same kind of adventure, bucket list kind of mindset. They just don't realize it yet. And that's why we depend so much on travel advisors to offer that up and say, look, this is really a different kinds of experience. It's not what you think of as a cruise experience. It's basically like what you're doing on an African safari, but on a ship going to Antarctica. And that's where we start getting new to cruise and people that never thought about cruising really interested in what we have to offer.
Yeah. And then I guess lastly, just speaking of travel advisors, I know travel advisors always want to know about what they can do with Scenic. I mean, where the support comes from, things like that. I was curious if you could tell us a little bit about that. How is Scenic Group supporting travel advisors? And then with travel advisor appreciation coming up, what should they know about that?
Yeah, we're really, first of all, Scenic Group heavily depends on travel advisors. That's first and foremost, most important. We depend on them. We have an outstanding sales team. We've got an outstanding contact center, groups department, charter department, anything that you need to support the trade, to drive the business. We know that we're still becoming a brand that is slowly becoming a household name. More and more people are learning about Scenic and Emerald, but we still depend very heavily on travel advisors to educate their clients on what we have to offer and where we come into the competitive set and why we are such an outstanding product to offer as a vacation experience. So we've got all that support. We've got webinars, we've got great learning seminars, we've got an agent academy, we have a whole travel advisor hub with all the information you need, including where to find your regional sales director, all of our group amenities, everything that you can imagine to grow your business. So all of that is there at the Travel Advisor Hub, which can easily be located at the very top of our Emerald or Scenic consumer websites. It says Travel Advisor Hub. You click on that, all the information is there. We're super excited about May, Travel Advisor Appreciation Month. First and foremost, because it gives us a great opportunity to continue to thank our travel advisors and show them great appreciation. But on top of that, we've got a number of great incentives. We're going to be launching a bonus commission for all newly deposited bookings made throughout the entire month, anywhere from $100 bonus commission per cabin up to $250 bonus commission per suite on the Scenic Eclipse ship. So it varies if it's river or ocean, but we have up to $250 bonus commission. We're going to have a number of contests to win a free cruise for bookings that are made on 8-day or more river cruises on Scenic or Emerald. The more you book, the more your name is thrown into the hat, and then we'll choose winners at the end of the month. We're also going to have a double group savings. So $400 savings per person on Scenic and Emerald River Cruises departing in 25 and 26, as well as earning a travel advisor cabin to escort your group when you have a minimum of 5 staterooms sold. And we also have on our yacht cruises $1,000 savings per person on Scenic Eclipse yacht cruises in 25 and 26 and 27. And then in addition to that, we have a number of webinars registered to take place in May, where anybody who participates can earn anywhere from $100 to a $500 gift certificate just for joining the webinar, where we will pick and choose some winners there. We also have a number of consumer offers that are going to be launched throughout May, so take full advantage of those. Sign up for our Travel Advisor newsletter so you get all the information that you need. But definitely it's going to be an exciting month as part of Travel Advisor Appreciation Month with all of these incentives out there.
Yeah, and I know the advisors who have been fortunate enough to get on board your trips have just the best things to say about them. And these are the types of trips that consumers need advisors to book. I mean, they are high end, they are somewhat complicated at certain points. So I think it's good for advisors to sort of dig deep into this.
Yeah, and to your point,
Yeah.
travel advisors always want a client that is going to do a vacation experience and come back very happy, right? At the end of the day, that's what we all want, and we want them to repeat the business. So you can count on Scenic and Emerald on providing an outstanding vacation experience. The ratings are through the roof from all of our guests on river and ocean on both brands. It's really very, very high guest satisfaction and repeat rate. So as a travel advisor, you can have full confidence in booking your clients on us. They're going to have a once in a lifetime experience for sure.
All right. Well, it's a good point to end it. Ken, thank you so much for your time, for some insights into what's happening with the Scenic Group.
Sure. Thank you.